Meet Cami, our upper figured goddess. If Cami were to eat 2 cupcakes, one tiny cake would be added to her left cup, the other tiny cake would be added to her right cup, and then a spattering of crumbs would find their way across her back and lap. And that is the nature of the upper figured. She is buxom, she is beautiful, but there are some different issues that we need to deal with when we are dressing an upper figure. One being that a button-down shirt is virtually impossible to secure without gaping holes in the front. We're left with wounds up and down our shirt whenever we're trying to wear a button-down shirt on an upper figure. Second, we have to deal with the area of proportion, because although she has these awesome slim, slender supports, if we do not dress it appropriately, we can start looking like an ice cream cone variety. Now, there are 2 different flavors of upper figure, one being the buxom variety and the other being the broad variety. As Cami's happy husband can attest, she is of the buxom variety. But even the broad shoulders girls follow the basic same rules, which we are going to detail for you here today. To keep Cami's shape secure, we are making sure we do not over-amplify what is already evident. Nothing about Cami's top half is shy, and so all we need to do is make sure we stay understated and enunciated. One way that we do this is with stretch ready knits, because they are all too eager to accommodate a back, to accommodate the bust, while simultaneously clasping the waist. When we do things like wovens or button-ups, we tend to only be able to fit the widest point and end up with a box the rest of the way down. The next thing we need to do is we need to pay attention to how we're securing our structure. With this, we have a great gathering here at the waist, which allows us to fully accommodate the bust, but also define the waist. Other things that work are vertical darts, and finally you could do something like ruching. What you want to avoid are things like a seam right under the bust, because that seam is never gonna make its way back down the mountain. It's gonna get lost somewhere up in the pinnacles. And we need to make sure that we don't do things like a firm waistband right here, because then it could end up looking like maternity and over amplifying the bust anyways. Instead, we wanna make sure that we're showcasing the best assets, but also defining. Now, moving down our silhouette, we have this bold particular here, because the bottom half, we can use color and pattern and embellishment to give it the visual weight that the top half already has naturally. And so we're building out the bottom half. One of the other things we want to make sure of is if you feel like you have like a flatter bottom or anything like that, you can add flat pockets, you can add embellishment, or even smaller pockets on a wider expanse actually make it appear larger and rounder. What we want to avoid is throwing the entire body under the bust in favor of a single attribute. Yes, she has shapely legs, but that's not all we want to see. We want to see a nice proportional figure. We're now going to proceed into how to secure the lady egg nest on formal occasions. Here we have Cami in a lovely shift dress. And a lot of times we want to break up the bosom buffet with an open neckline or a V-neck. But another way that we can accomplish the same thing is layering a thin, lightweight cardigan or jacket over top of a higher neckline to create delectable little courses. Here we have a juicy shoulder, a nice tender bite here, and so on, so that we have visually digestible pieces that all come together into a nice entree. Finally, we also want to make sure we note the darts here. The darts are critical in defining both the bust and the waist, because we're showcasing them at their best assets. We're giving her nice security here without compromising the shape of the waist. Having a single color and pattern all throughout the torso and leg creates a nice long lean line, and whenever we can lengthen out the torso with an upper figure, it makes it appear smaller and less dominant. And so now we just have a nice long silhouette. For other body types and more information on how to look your best, go to cardiganempire.com.